Today was an epic day. I remember, even last night, people started messaging me saying, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this?" And I had already noticed, I was getting messages myself, that the Japanese stock market and other stock markets around the world were crashing. And there was already preparations globally for people to prepare for their stock markets. And of course, here in America, we were told that it was going to look bad, and it really was. And I think because of political reasons, they're really not pushing it as much as they should, not just as much as they could, but as much as they should, because they don't want to, equate what is happening now to the current administration. But it is directly tied to the current administration and to administrations that are similar to that and choices that they've made globally, economic decisions, woke decisions. I'm going to go ahead and say it, woke decisions. That's why we end this program every single time. We ain't woke, but we are certainly awake, because if you go woke, you go broke. Do you understand me? That is a fact. And people are finally beginning to see that, and some of these corporations are beginning to see that, but that is the truth. You go woke, you go broke. And we are seeing the culmination globally of what happens when you try to run nations from a woke standpoint instead of from an economic standpoint, from a military standpoint, from a freedom and liberty and constitutional standpoint. When you play identity politics and when you make economic decisions based on DEI decisions, diversity, equity, inclusion, woke decisions, this is what you get. So, yeah, I ain't got my wife over here slapping me on the leg tonight, so I can just say whatever I want to say and get in trouble later. But Japan's, y'all know how I'm with the English language, I'm going to say the Nikkei, their version of the stock market sees the biggest tumble since, and some of you will remember this, the 1987 crash. It plummeted, y'all, 12.4% on Monday as global investors digest shaky economic data from the United States. The United States Dow Jones Industrial Average also dropped over 1,000 points at market open. Y'all, this is significant. It says it's the largest single-day rout since the 1987 Black Monday sell-offs that precipitated a major recession. The fall was driven last week. The fall was driven by last week's global plunge in stock prices, which followed bleak jobs data that indicated the United States could be headed for recession, sending a shockwave across markets and, of course, globally. At the end of trading, the Nikkei index shed a massive 12.4% after dipping as much as 13.4%. Is that right? Yeah, 13.4%. Sorry, my eyes ain't working great. For comparison, the biggest single-day drop was 14.9% in 1987. At one point during the sell-off, a circuit breaker was triggered to stop trading. The rapid fall of Japan's yen against the dollar has also fueled the sell-off, as investors try and sell equities in a mass deleveraging as investors sell assets to fund their losses. So I think you get it. Global markets are beginning to sell off. Markets in South Korea and Taiwan also plunged more than 8% at one point Monday. And, of course, we'll get into the United States in just a second. So these are those in the eastern region of the world, but stocks are plummeting all over the world as the Dow tumbles 1,000 points. And here's why I say that they're not covering it the way they should cover it. You may be surprised to know that the Dow has never plunged 1,000 points. Never. This is unprecedented. What do you think would happen if the other candidate was the president and this happened? And the Dow plunged more points than its entire history. what do you think would be leading the newscast? But instead, on the day that the Dow drops 1,000 points, it's never happened in the history of the Dow. And the S&P 500 post worst day since 22 in global market sell-off. What is leading the news? They're calling one candidate weird, and they're talking about, what Trump said about Kamala and, is she African American? Is she Asian American? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay. I don't even care about that argument. Because let me tell you where I'm at right now. It doesn't matter to me what the color of your skin is and what your ethnicity is and what your race is. You're supposed to be American. And Americans, when the economy crashes, the way it is crashing and what is about to happen in this economy, it literally affects every race. It affects every background. It affects every level of income. Yes, even the wealthy, and all the way down, of course, to the poorest, and everyone. Of course, the main one is going to affect is the middle class. But nobody's already talking about this. They just had a brief thing this morning, and you have not heard anyone leading with the Dow fell more than it has ever fell before. I digress. But there it is, 1,000 points. Let's see if this little video will work here. It's not working. Oh, I know what it is. Everybody stay with me. I told you I ran out of time. Let's see if it's working now. Oh, still not working. All right, so maybe it's not going to play. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just say goodbye to that one. All right, so it says, we have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ. I kept saying the Dow. All right, so watch this. Watch this. Let's see if I can get this to work. Why is my sound not working? Are y'all praying hard? I ran out of time. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right, come on, sound. Come on, sound. Work. Y'all don't leave me. Y'all don't leave me. Why ain't you working? All right, here we go.
Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%.
All right, let's listen to this.
History in the making.
What some would call history in the making.
Scary,
don't say that.
We have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. Down 6% right from the get-go. This is heavy big tech. Here we go. Look at them go down. Microsoft is down $20. That's 5%. Alphabet, 5%. Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%. Apple, 9% down. Let's pull out Apple. This is interesting. A question for you.
History in the making.
All right, so I want to show you this right here. What they call the Magnificent Seven, the Mag 7, lost $1 trillion in market capital today. $1 trillion in one day. And it's not the lead story on the news. Now, there's one particular network that maybe if you watch the news tonight, at the top of the hour, they may hit it for about 3 minutes. Then they're going to go back into identity politics. They're going to go back into the distraction talking points that we've been given. But look at this. NVIDIA, who is the leader in AI technology. Most of the things that we show you during the Supernatural AI update are tied back to the foundation of it is NVIDIA. NVIDIA, quite frankly, is what's the company in Terminator? That's them. Okay, I can't think of their name. But NVIDIA lost $325 billion in market capital today, in one day, in just a matter of hours. Apple, $300 billion. Google, $200 billion. Amazon, $135 billion. Microsoft, $125 billion. Meta, $80 billion, and Tesla, $60 billion. billion. You add it all up, it's $1 trillion plus. That was lost in one day, in a matter of hours. Now, some of it may have recovered. Skynet, thank y'all. All y'all helping me, man. Y'all so awesome. Why is this not the lead story? We all know why, right? We know why it's not the lead story. Come on. We all know why it's not the lead story, because we know who would get blamed for it. One more. Here's another one. Here's one more. Look at this one. Over $1.93 trillion. That is almost $2 trillion has been wiped out today from the U.S. stock market at the time of this post, as the NASDAQ had dropped over 1,000 points. Officials said the NASDAQ has never been this low. So when you add it all up, that was just the Mag 7. Across the board, $1.93 trillion in a matter of hours. Well, whose money is that? That's your 401k. That's your retirement. That's people's investments. That's insane. That is crazy, y'all. And once again, why is it not the lead story? It's not the lead story because if you talk about it, then you got to talk about the dreaded R word, recession. Because, we were told the economy was turning around. We were told that the economy was actually good, that it was a right-wing talking point to say that it was in bad shape. But watch this. Recession odds climbed to 25% after weak jobs number. July jobs data looked weak across the board. A team of economists led by Jan Hasdias. There's now a 25% chance that the U.S. will suffer a recession over the next 12 months, according to Goldman Sachs economists. Now, it was at 12%. It was at 15%. And it rose to 25% in one day, and because of this week's job reports. Weak across the board. Goldman now expects the central bank to cut borrowing costs by 25 basis points in September, October, and December. How convenient to start cutting interest rates right before the election. Yes, of course. I know it sounds like I don't know where Sandy's tinfoil hat is. Excuse me one second. This is made for her head. My head's a lot bigger. I know y'all think I wear this all the time now. As for Sandy. But no, this is not a conspiracy. We know what this is about, y'all. They don't want to talk about the recession. We know why they don't want to talk about the recession. And then you got September, October, and December. But especially September and October, right before the elections. Everything's turning around. And we've cut the interest rates. Just hold on. We just need 4 more years to finish the process. 4 more. I see my baby in there. Thank you, baby. I got to fire you a comment in here. Look at that compliment that she gave me. Nice move, babe. I don't know what that a little means. We'll talk about that later. Was that just like I think it's just a little bit too small, you're saying? Let's try it again. Is that it? All right, I'm going to leave it on here just to keep people watching for just a little bit longer. Y'all, it feels good. It feels good to have a tinfoil hat. It feels good to be my wife is the one that's responsible for waking me up, y'all, to the world that we live in. Very, very thankful. She red pilled me, y'all. She opened up my eyes. I ain't woke, and I am awake because of her. But y'all, this is crazy. Now let's go back to this article and read a little bit more. It says, it is usually a mistake to infer too much from one jobs report, absent a major shock that abruptly changes the picture, they said, adding that much of the weakness last month was a result of temporary rather than permanent layoffs. How they know that, I don't know. The rest of Wall Street expects a sharper, dovish pivot, with the odds of a 50 basis point cut in September currently stand at over 99%, according to CME FedWatch tool. Investors also appear to be fretting about the latest job data, with stocks tumbling sharply Friday. And of course, it moved deep into today, Monday. So comment in the live chat, comment below if you're watching the replay. Let me know what your gut feeling is about where the economy is actually going to go. Do you feel like this is temporary? And I'm not asking for Kamala versus Donald Trump and who you think is going to be better for the economy. I just want to know, in the economy, do you believe this is going to be short term? Do you believe if they cut the interest rates, would it make a difference? Let me know. But then I go back one more time, just one more time, y'all, just one more time, to the tinfoil hat. Just one more time. The reason I want to go back one more time is because I'm very, very suspicious of things nowadays. It's very suspicious to me that on the day that the stock market, the NASDAQ crashed over 1,000 points, and almost $2 trillion were lost. Guess what? Multiple brokerage companies, including Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and even UPS and CenturyLink and Interactive Brokers, were all currently down, reporting errors in market crashes at the exact same time that the market was crashing. All of these, if you ever, I always tell you, use this tool when things happen. When you hear words of something cyber happening, or even if your phone is just not working, this is what me and Sandy will do. If something happens and you're trying to log on something or log on a software like Facebook or YouTube or something and it's not working, we go to downdetector.com, downdetector.com. And when you go there, that's what this website is from here. And so when you go to Down Detector, you'll see what that spike. You see that red spike, how everybody's goes up at the exact same time. This is how you can go and sort of regulate in your eye, with your own eyes, that something major is happening. They all spike at the same time. Look at that. So at the very least, that is a corporate global mechanism that's down, but more than likely it's a cyber attack. And that's why I put the hat on, because I believe that when the stocks plummeted the way they did and $2 trillion was gone in a matter of hours, I think it's not by chance that the very tools that the world uses to trade those stocks and to get rid of and to dump and to get out, they couldn't get into it. Not only could the individual not get into it, but the huge corporations that use the corporations themselves that are the brokers could not even function. Many of them that were on the floor of the stock market could not even function for quite a bit of time today until they supposedly remedied this. Well, what happened during that? What happened during that time when Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, Ameritrade, Lumen, E-Trade, even UPS, Delivery, Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, CenturyLink, and so many more were down. In fact, I think it's pretty. It would be a pretty good idea for me to just try to. I'm just going to go to Down Detector right now, because earlier when I was getting all my news together, I want to tell you this. Let me see, downdetector.com. Come on, I got to learn how to spell. Down Detector. There it is. All right, so I want to show you this. I was trying to get an article that was from an MSN, which we used that quite a bit. and it was down as well. So all Microsoft was down. I couldn't even save the news articles because they would not load. Let's look at Down Detector right now. So in Down Detector right now, if you have Google Fiber, you are just experiencing something. DuckDuckGo, by the way, is the alternative to Google Chrome. It's been going down off and on all day long. So we see, all right. So we see that the brokerage ones are back up. But see how you can go there. I just want to take the time to show you. Use this tool. You'll be looking for me going live. You know that if something goes down in the world, if I can get to a computer or get to a phone, I'm going to broadcast, especially if I believe that there's a major cyber attack going on. But you can do that investigation on your own. You can go to Down Detector yourself. And when you go there, you'll automatically see, okay, yeah, this is a very serious thing that is happening. Okay? So that was today. But the reason that we have global meltdown as the thumbnail for this particular episode is because that's just one thing. Y'all, the world is going, it's going into another level of craziness. I mean, you cannot. Think about this. Who is even talking about the attempted assassination of a presidential candidate anymore? No one. It's like we've moved on from it. Nobody's even talking about that. Nobody's even talking about the fact that we have a president that is completely checked out, y'all. And I'm being as nice as I can. Do you realize there's a video? And I watched the video. It is authentic. And some of you have seen it, but you have not going to see it on the news. When they made the hostage deal, which was a really bad deal, and there's also information today, and it's come out of Russia, that Russia felt an urgency to make this deal because they felt like they would not get a sweet of a deal with the Donald Trump administration. So the fear of Donald Trump's administration is already acting upon some of these world leaders. But this video, you can find it. It's still out there. You probably have to go to X to find it because YouTube is probably going to try to wipe it. Sorry, shouldn't have said that. I love you, YouTube. You're wonderful and you're amazing. But they're all out on the tarmac welcoming these hostages home. And some of you have seen it, some of you haven't seen it. They're standing there and Kamala's being presidential and all this, and she took over, and she's the one that spoke because he couldn't speak. So after they get rid of the photo op, do you know what our president does? He turns around, and this is on video. This is not deep fake. This is not AI. This happened. And while Kamala's standing there, Secret Service is standing there, military personnel is standing there, he boards the plane. This just happened this week. He boards the plane that just flew from Russia with the hostages. And Kamala's just standing there looking, and he goes up these steps, not on Air Force One, the plane that the hostages just got off. And he stays in the plane for several minutes. Kamala's standing at the base of the steps. No Secret Service goes in because they don't want to bring any attention to it on the video. Everybody's just trying to figure out how can we act like this is what he meant to do. And he's just gone for several minutes. The President of the United States just goes on a strange plane by himself. And everyone just stands there and waits on it. He comes back down, and they just sort of lead him in the back off to the side. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our president. He's not the president. He's not been the president. He's not the president now. But no one is talking about that. No. So many distractions going on and so many things going on in the world that people done moved on from that. They done moved on from attempted assassination of the president. They've moved on from a coup that happened to remove a president. They're not talking about the fact that somebody was placed in a candidacy that's never won a delegate in their life. But we got to remember, too, that we ain't the only nation in the world, and these other nations are in war, and we're funding these wars. And now we're sending people to these wars. We're sending military equipment. We're sending ammunition. We're sending bombs. Now we're sending people. And who knows what's about to happen, because even as I speak, I don't have the ability to get breaking news right now, but even as I speak, it is believed that around this time or later tonight, Iran is going to launch a full-scale attack against Israel. The whole world is ready for that. Meltdown. Israel braces for Iranian attack that could come within hours as Hezbollah missile barrage injures 2 IDF soldiers amid growing fears of an all-out war in the Middle East. Iran is expected to attack Israel in the next 24 to 48 hours following a major attack by Hezbollah that left 2 IDF soldiers injured, top Western diplomats warned. American news outlet Axios reported that Secretary of State Antony Blinken, the U.S. highest-ranking diplomat, told the G7 yesterday that an attack in response to Israel killing Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran and Fawd Shukur in Beirut was imminent. This would be the second time during the growing crisis in the Middle East that Iran has directly attacked Israel, the first being in April when it sent a salvo of missiles and drones overnight. But unlike the April attack, the U.S. admitted in a private call with G7 members that it doesn't know what the expected retaliatory strike will look like. Nevertheless, Iran has clearly signaled that it intends to attack its foe. Iran claimed today that it has the legal right to respond to the assassination, with Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani telling a news conference, "No one has the right to doubt Iran's legal right to punish the Zionist regime." So what's going to happen? It's looking like it's going to be a full-scale war in the Middle East. Well, do you understand that America has just sent more warships to the Middle East with over 4,000 military men and women that are in the Middle East? We have just sent F-16s. They finally were delivered to Ukraine. So now Ukraine is about to escalate their attack against Russia. Russia has signaled they are ready for this thing to end before the Trump administration, not to mention Taiwan that we're going to get to in just a minute. And all these people say, oh, you conspiracy theorists talking about World War III. Ladies and gentlemen, this is World War III. This is the beginning of it, at the very least. And I believe, actually, when you factor in cyber war, we're already in it. I don't just believe that World War III is going to be fought with bombs and bullets. World War III, we live in a very digital society. World War III is going to be heavily digital, heavily cyber, and heavily AI. And I believe that we are already slap dab in the middle of it. Now, I want to show you this article from one of Israel's sites. It says Israel will be fighting on they're planning for a possible 5-front war. Israel opens underground nuclear shelter in Jerusalem for country's leadership. Shock finds shakes relations in Egypt. Iran, by the way, this is a translation from Greek to English, so it might not be the greatest translation. This is a Greek news site. Iran's attack will last days and break red lines. For the first time in decades, the Shin Bet has opened the underground nuclear shelter in Jerusalem known as the Doomsday Bunker, which will house the country's top political leadership and officials of the defense and security complex, a sign that Israel is preparing for a large-scale war with unknown ramifications. Let that sink in. For the first time in decades, it's even been opened, and they are actively preparing to house the top political leadership and officials of the defense and security complex in this underground bunker. And it's a nuclear bunker. The Shin Bet has completed preparations for the operation of the underground command and control center intended to house the state's political security elite during a major war. The shelter is equipped with all means of command and control. It is connected to, quote, the pit, which is the headquarters of the Ministry of Defense in Tel Aviv. In all other shelters, senior leaders can stay for a long time during war, and it is invulnerable. This move was deemed necessary in Israel as, according to al-Mahadin, Iran believes that the killing of Ismail Haniyeh crossed, quote, Iranian red lines. Therefore, Iran will respond in a way that crosses Israeli red lines. So this, I believe, is the bunker. It may be, I saw one fact check that it might not actually be the bunker, but the bunker, there it is. It says, to clarify, this image is unrelated content. This image is of the Al-Mag project. But whatever the bunker looks like, it's been opened. According to the Al-Mahadin news service, Iran believes that the assassination of their leader crossed that line. I want to read this right here. So there's anger in Israel over Egypt. There's a secret Hamas tunnel that was discovered this week. Senior Israeli defense and security officials are expressing their anger at Egypt after the discovery of Hamas equipment tunnels. A huge tunnel that runs deep from the town of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip goes under the Egyptian border wall and into the Sinai Peninsula of eastern Egypt, was recently discovered by the Israeli forces. The tunnel is more than 3 meters high, large enough for trucks carrying equipment and ammunition for Hamas to enter Gaza. The Israelis accuse Egypt of allowing the creation of a secret arms transport highway. Egypt has allowed years of damage to Israel's security. Israeli confidence in Egyptian mediation in the negotiation for the return of the abductees is almost zero. Wow. This is unbelievable. I don't know if this video will work. It might be in Hebrew. Not sure. It's probably in Hebrew. Let's see what it sounds like. Yeah. All right. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
לפי כתבנו המדיני, סולימאן מסוודה, אתה מצטרף
Yep, I need to learn Hebrew. So look, these are the pictures of the tunnel. Look at this tunnel. You know, all this talk about we're not going to accept any of the refugees in Egypt, but we support them. They need to stay right there. All this talk from Egypt, knowing that there is look at this truck coming out. Look at this truck. It's a Jeep coming out of an underground tunnel that goes under the border of Israel in Gaza and into Egypt. That's insane. From Rafah, everybody talked about Rafah. President Biden said, don't you touch the people in Rafah. Well, Rafah, while all that's going, look what they had access to. They were still getting weapons. Do you understand? There's no way Egypt didn't know that this was going on. Y'all, we are in the middle of a world where we cannot believe anything that we hear on regular media. Would you agree with that? Anything. I need some coffee. Hang on a second. Yeah. Wow. Well, okay, Larry, okay. America is in chaos. The Middle East it's in chaos. Ukraine, it's in chaos. Taiwan, not necessarily chaos yet, but potential of chaos. But you know what? That's a lot of stuff. I'll give it to you, Larry. But everybody else is calmed down. Have you looked at Venezuela? Have you looked at Nicaragua? Have you looked at many of the South American countries? Have you looked at Have you been able to see what's happening in the UK, in the streets of Birmingham, England, in the streets of the United Kingdom? Have you seen what's happening in Germany? I'm talking about, it's like what happened here in 2020 when the streets were burning and the storefronts are burning. People are being beaten. People are being killed all over the world. Unalived, excuse me. That's what I meant, YouTube. But while everybody's just sleeping on everything else, what about Bangladesh? Bangladesh has had an uprising, and the prime minister of this country, nobody's talking about this, had to flee in fear today. Had to get on a helicopter and a plane and leave the country after weeks of violent protests. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned and fled the country today after hundreds were killed. Hundreds were killed in a crackdown against anti-government protests. Protesters stormed the presidential palace in Dhaka, demanding her resignation and justice. Let's see what happens when I click on it for X. For the 250 protesters killed by security forces in the last month. Bangladesh's army chief has now stated that an interim government will be formed. Look at the videos. People are being taken out. People are being abducted. This is video of her leaving. Whatever country you're watching from around the world, imagine your president, your prime minister, your leader somebody saying to film them through a tree, hiding behind a tree as they are whisked onto a undisclosed tarmac and put on a helicopter and taken out of the country. This is Bangladesh. There goes the prime minister. You can barely see it. It's a little tiny dot. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a global meltdown happening, which I believe that means there's a global agenda happening. Remember that the world, we have told you here and taught you and showed you by infallible proof that the narrative and the desire of the world is shaped from this little sliver of a country that for so many years has had the reputation of being a ski resort, Switzerland. On one side of Switzerland is Geneva. Beneath the ground in Geneva is the demonic scientific piece of giant equipment called CERN that is opening up portals to the demonic realm, trying to recreate the God particle. Just above ground, right there where CERN is the World Health Organization, the World Bank headquarters. I could go on and on. The Red Cross. I mean, there's upwards of 30 plus global entities are headquartered on that side of Switzerland. Then you travel just across the little sliver of a country, up in the mountains, and the highest point in all of that region is a mountain called Davos. And on the top of that mountain, every year the global elite from all over the world meet there. And it is there that we learned about the things, the wah-wah is what we call it. If you're new to our channel, that's the code word for the ouchie Fauci. I heard somebody say this week. It began there. The narrative of it began there. There is coming a cyberdemic, was what Klaus Schwab said is coming there. We're seeing rollouts of tests of that now. How convenient that on the day that we see the largest plummet since the crisis of that we, some of them all the way back to 1980s, but in our lifetime, one of the worst drops ever, and in the NASDAQ, the worst ever. How convenient on that day that the very software and companies that operate our global economic system goes down. Well, all that was predicted in Davos. Also in Davos, along with the World Health Organization and the United Nations, is something called Agenda 2030. And Agenda 2030 has, I believe, I'm having a brain freeze right now, but I believe it's 17 sustainable goals for the earth. And you will own nothing and be happy about it. This is what come out of the World Economic Forum. You will rent everything, that you will not eat meat, you will drive an electric car, anything that's combustible engines will be done away with. In fact, the radical idea was flights would no longer exist. You would not fly anymore because you wouldn't want to fly, because everything you'd want, you'd have virtually as well as in your 15-minute city. And all of this just a year ago, when we really started focusing on this channel. We've had a channel here for about 2 years, but about a year ago, a little over a year ago, we really started getting into this and talking about this on this channel. And some of it, to some people that's watching this, probably thought, you're getting way ahead of yourself. Well, guess what? They're already building 15-minute cities in America and around the world. They've already got them built. There are entire neighborhoods being built now. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of houses with cul-de-sacs, and everything looks just like what you normally look. The only difference is not one of them are for sale. They're all for lease. You'll own nothing and be happy about it. Over and over again. And the things during the Obama administration, I forgot the guy's name. There was one of his assistants, I'm sure you'll put it in the live chat for me, said, never let a crisis go to waste. Well, guess what? Guess where that came from? Never let a crisis go to waste. It was originated at the World Economic Forum. Never let a crisis go to waste. That's where we're at. Crisis after crisis, war after war, financial, economy, climate, fill in the blank, boom, 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 boom. We're just rapid here, right in the middle of it. Pew, pew. Try to take out a former president, which would have been, if they'd been successful, it would have been the biggest news item of our lifetime. But he turned his head just right, saved his life. Another man lost his life. 2 more seriously injured. Not to mention the conspiracy that's come out on how in the world that happened, all the stuff with the Secret Service. Guess what? Secret Service, director of the Secret Service, gone. Had to resign. Not fired. Had to resign under pressure. Y'all, that wasn't even a month ago. How in the world are we not even talking about it? How in the world are we not talking about the fact that 9 days before President Biden made his tweet, picture of a piece of paper, saying, I've decided for the betterment of the country, I'm going to step aside. I'm going to give my wholehearted support later on the next tweet to Kamala Harris. 9 days before that. You need to go back and watch the shorts on my channel, and you'll see a short of it. And then you need to go watch the whole interview. No one, I can't believe this. I got to do a show on this. President Biden sat down and did an interview with an influencer 9 days before he resigned. And in this interview, this guy asked him, what is the percentage between 1 and 100 that you will be a candidate for president in November on the ballot? He said 1,000%. I'm not going anywhere. He goes, so 1,000% you will be a candidate for the presidency of the United States 9 days before he resigned. 1,000%. I got to finish the job. Well, what happened? What happened? We know what happened. but nobody's talking about it, right? And then you factor in all this other stuff that I've been covering tonight. Y'all, something's up. Now, I know some of this could be organic. I know some of this could just be escalation of things globally. But can I tell y'all, somebody is playing a game here with these events. And you better know, while we are being distracted by this and that and little sound bites from what this one said and that one said and who said this about her and what did she say about him, behind the scenes, y'all, when these things crash, why do they crash? Okay, here we go. I said I was done with it. One more time. When the stock market crashed this morning, and all the software and all the companies that are used to move those things around went down, did they really go down? Or were they reprogrammed? Or did they go down so that you couldn't get in while they was moving some stuff around? Y'all, that's what CBDC is. CBDC, central bank digital currency, is digital money. And I've told you, Sandy and I say it almost every week, if it's digital, it's programmable. And if it's programmable, it can be turned off. So that's why they want you to go digital with your money, so they can turn your money off, so they can turn your electricity off, so they can turn your car off, so they can turn your means of communication off. The internet goes down, people will go into a panic mode. I mean, I would hate it if the internet went down. So much of my life I use the internet for. If I didn't have the internet, I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now. I'm talking to people right now I never in my mind could imagine that on a weekly basis I would talk to thousands upon thousands, if not tens of thousands, and eventually I believe it's going to be millions, every week, to actual human beings around the world that I would never be able to talk to in my life. That's because of the internet. But guess what? Everything's connected to the internet. The Internet of Things is what it's called. Your refrigerator's connected to the internet. Your stove's connected to the internet. Your vacuum cleaners are connected to the internet. Everything's connected to the internet, and that's planned. Is there any chance? Y'all, I'm preaching a little bit tonight. I ain't got my wife to keep me focused, but watch this. By the way, if you came in late, you wonder where Sandy is tonight. She's with her dad tonight. Her dad is having a few health issues, and he's been admitted in the hospital, and she's there with him, taking care of him. And so just pray for Sandy, and more importantly, pray for her dad, that God would touch him and raise him up. And she's watching right now. So she's in the live chat, and she's watching. But, I digress, and I lost my train of thought, but I was just ranting. I think I was just ranting about the Internet of Things. And I'm telling you, it's planned. It's planned. And when the internet goes down, and I'm gonna get back to the news. But when the internet goes down, what you got to realize is it will not go down for everyone. Did you hear what I said? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Is it by any chance, this will blow your mind. I got a video that I did. And I need to update this video, and I'm going to update this video. And I'm going to try to link it down in the description after the show because I'm doing this live. But I did a show. Thank you for that super sticker. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Alicia. But I did a video on Switzerland and on CERN. And I've been on several shows talking about CERN. And one of the things that I discovered when I really started looking into CERN, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that no one had ever said this publicly to me or to online that I had seen. And that was that the World Wide Web, WWW, was invented at CERN. Not the internet, but the ability to turn that code into viewable code, which is what the web is. The web was invented in the science lab at CERN. It is a fact. That is not conspiracy. All you got to do is Google it. Just Google it. Where was the World Wide Web invented? And you'll see it. It will come up on Google. It was invented at CERN. It's shocking. I know. It was shocking to me. But I just thought how interesting that it is after all these years that we really look back on it, and it never really dawned on us. We just accepted that it was called the web. Why didn't anyone ever just say, why did you call it the web? The World Wide Web. We just took it that meant that we were just tied together. But what we didn't realize is that why it was really called that. Because you think about a spider web. A spider web is not poisonous. A spider web is not what kills the prey. The web is what traps the prey. And then the harder the prey, you ever seen a little bug get in one, and the harder they fight, the more that stickiness of that web gets on them. And the spider just sort of crawls up the top and just waits for the bug to wear out. And when it's lost all its strength, what does the spider do? Devours. So that's why I say that when the internet goes down, it won't go down for everybody. When the money goes away, it won't go away for everybody. When airplanes are no longer flying, they won't go away for everybody. Thank you for that super chat, Lisa. Do you understand? Do you understand what's happening? There will always be someone that will have access to it. And I think that's what we're being set up for. Now, let's move on. I want to show y'all something today that was leaked today. The article is called, and by the way, when you see not the Bee, this is not the Babylon Bee. This means these are actual news articles. These are not satire. Did Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin just say what I think he said? He goes on to say, I simply cannot believe what I'm hearing from this Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland. He's really out here saying that they will disqualify Trump on January the 6th, 2025, should he win election. So he's given a talk with some other Democrats, and I want you to listen. This was this week that this came out.
Again, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that.
My goodness. By the way, thank you for that super chat, Op and Cook. So, do you understand what you just heard? This is not a former. This is a sitting representative that said openly, without any fear, on a camera, knowing he's being recorded, they are saying, we will not let him be president. All we hear is this is for democracy. All we hear is that he'll never leave office. This is not a Trump commercial here, okay? I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump super fan is what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out what he just said. He just said there is a 14th Amendment that will disqualify him because there will be civil war conditions in this world, and we will disqualify him symbolically on that day, January 6th, and we will fortify the Capitol, and we will have increased security because we cannot allow the Supreme Court to give him immunity like what came down, we cannot allow this to happen. But yet, it's all about democracy, right? It's all about democracy. So I want you to see, and then we got several on here that watch from the United Kingdom. And I want to know in the live chat and in the comments, if you live in the United Kingdom or even in Europe and you've seen this, I believe this is 100% legit, but I also know that people can stage things. But for what I'm seeing is that this is legit. So this is where the world is going. Freedom-loving countries. We've already talked about what's happening in England with the riots in the streets, the fights of ethnicities in the street and so forth, and immigrants. That's all I'm going to say. So this is posted by a guy named Concerned Citizen. I like his handle. B. Gates is a psycho. I think y'all can figure out what that means. Quote, this is the person that's in the video saying, am I going to be locked up for the night? Do I need to bring my medications? Welcome to 2024 Britain, where the police will arrive at your home to arrest you for comments made on Facebook. Like I said, if you live in the UK, I want you to let me know if you heard this there and if this is actually the way it is in the United Kingdom, because I live in the great United States of America. Furthermore, I live in the great southeast of the United States of America, and even furthermore, God bless Alabama. I live in Sweet Home, Alabama. So much so, there ain't no other song called Sweet Home, beep, fill in the blank. It's Sweet Home, Alabama. Lord, I'm coming. Okay. As Britain descends into lawless chaos, the government's priority clearly isn't fixing it, but is to go after those that voice the opinion about it online. United Kingdom is now a fascist state under authoritative totalitarian rule. Let us watch this glorious footage. Takes a while for X videos to load sometimes. All right, here we go. Gotta unmute it.
Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
What?
127 of the Communications Act, okay? So you do not have to say anything that may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested.
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
So you
and-
got to the police station.
I do understand parts of it, but being from Alabama, it's hard for me to understand the British accent sometimes, but I think I'm getting it.
Right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, it's
What?
Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets,
I've
Put
got
your
my
gloves on.
keys. I've got.
Make sure you put your
No,
mask on.
I think keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 and basically level attack.
Right.
That's for dangerous items.
Hey, you said I was going to be arrested under some what information? I'm going to be
We've had
arrested for
reports that
posting on
you've made
Facebook.
some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
And
they've
can
come
you-
from
can you tell
a
me what
Facebook
this
account
comment
in your
was?
name.
We'll do
Okay,
that
well,
all
we'll
in
do
an
that when
interview.
we interview.
All right. And so,
Okay.
what am I going to be locked up for?
Okay, did you hear his question? Can you tell me what this comment was? She said, we will tell you when we interview you downtown.
For the night, or
Hopefully
Well,
not.
hopefully not.
right? Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
How,
Yes, we will look at taking all of those.
When-
She said, do I need to take, he said, do I need to take my medication? Will I be there all night? She said, that is not up to us. That is up to you.
do you need to take them?
Well, I've got pain medications. I've got sleeping medication. I've got anxiety medications, which I might take one of those in a bit.
Okay.
You know.
Well, if we take everything with us, then you've got everything there, haven't you?
And then
then
the
if you
Okay.
need it,
we've got a nurse up there. they'll be able to.
Okay.
They'll be able to come and see you, and then once you've been there, they can assess whether or not medication can be issued. All right. So what we're going to do is, you want to pop yourself up. We're just going to search.
You need the glasses.
Yeah, search you.
To come with you.
My glasses.
Yeah. Do you want to take them with you?
What in the world are we looking at here? I mean, here's the thing. I want to know if this is real. I've seen it posted several places. I've not seen anyone refute it yet. I've not even seen the glorious fact checkers. You know how quick they come out. I hadn't seen fact checkers fact check this. It appears to be that this is real. If this is real, I want somebody from the United Kingdom to let me know if this is real. If this is real, then what we just witnessed was what we have been saying that's coming. That sounded like big time this, but it is not, because it sounds like a man made a comment on the violent uprising that is happening in the streets of Britain. Obviously did not like what he thinks is the cause of it and called it out. And the police are arresting him for a social media law where you cannot offend anybody on Facebook or any other platform anymore. What? I mean, is that our world? Is that really our world? We thought that was our world. We thought that was coming. That was in the movies. That's in the TV shows. But y'all, if this is real, and I think it is real, we are further along in this agenda than we even thought we were. Those cops didn't even seem like there was even a big deal. They were just doing their job. And let's not forget, during the wah-wah of 2020 and 2021, globally, they put people basically in glorified concentration camps. They arrested pastors for preaching and keeping their doors open long after it was very obvious that the wah-wah was not effective. They arrested people for not wearing facial diapers. This is insane. Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? You know, this is why we got to have our Telegram channel. Let me just go back and remind y'all that down in the description, no matter where you're watching this, is a direct link to the Telegram app. You can download Telegram on your computer. It's an app. Or you can download it on your phone. I would say both. Go ahead and do both. Log in, go directly to the Big Picture Telegram channel, because there is no censorship there. I can go there and talk about anything I want to talk about. And we're just now starting it. We're just now starting to build it. But that's our safe haven. So I'm encouraging you to go to Telegram, go to the description down below, join the channel, and let's blow it up, because I got a feeling that it ain't going to be long. Y'all, I got kicked off 4 times in my church Sunday. 4 times. And I was not real controversial. JD, I see that you said Elvis sang Welcome to My World. That's why I sing it. For those that don't know, let me remind you, I was born on Elvis's birthday. Thank you very much. January 8th is the birthday of the King. So, I can thank my mama. Thank her. My mama loved me, and my mama taught me about Elvis. Thank you very much. I digress. Now, Ricky, I see you in there. Ricky he's got a lot of cows. He's always talking about what's going on with his cows, and he's going to love this one, I'm sure. There is what is called a beef apocalypse coming. We've heard it. We cover cows all the time here. We cover beef, from everything from a steak to eating a steak to cow poots. Because, cow poots is the number one reason the world's about to end. So they want to give the cows a wah-wah so that they won't poot as much. Seems inhumane. But the beef apocalypse is upon us. Why shelf-stable beef will be extremely valuable in the future. Who knew that we would go back to bartering this soon, and that one of the most valuable things you will probably have in your house one day is shelf-stable beef? It'd be like gold. Recent reports from multiple sources say that we're on the verge of a beef apocalypse. Zero Hedge, which is one of the websites that I use here, notes, quote, fears over a meat recession are growing as traders see high prices and consumer downturn as a perfect recipe for stoking demand destruction. Between rising food prices, shrinking cattle herds, bird flu, climate change, gaslighting, coming turmoil during the elections, and an obsessive effort by governments and globalist entities to eliminate real meat from our diets, beef is poised to be extremely valuable in the years and even months to come. Of particular value will be shelf-stable beef, whether it's canned, dehydrated, or freeze-dried. Having beef that is still safe and nutritious for years is piquing the interest of people across the country. It isn't just the doomsday preppers who are concerned. The last 4 years have caused tremendous anxiety to be felt by Americans, and for very logical reasons. So if you have the ability to freeze dry beef, if you have the ability to can it, to preserve it, then it's going to be worth a lot. So there's your retirement plan, Ricky, and all the other cattle farmers that are faithful parts of the Big Picture family. The beef apocalypse is upon us. Now, I want to talk about this next thing this is just another crazy example of the world we're living in. Sandy and I told you about when we went to California recently. And, we don't go to California often. In fact, we've only been to California twice, one time on business, and this time was briefly on part of our vacation. But one of the things that we noticed when we were there, when we were at the airport, we were buying some food at the airport. And, of course, airport food is extremely expensive to begin with. And as we were paying for it, we realized that there was something on the receipt that was not a tip, and it was not tax. Of course, they ask you if you want a tip. And I like what I heard, I can't think of his name right now, a Christian comedian say. He said, here's a new rule that I want to go by. If I'm standing up, I don't tip. I'm sorry, if I'm standing up, I don't tip. Meaning if I'm standing at the counter, across from the counter of you standing at the counter, and all you did was take my money or just give me a receipt and hand me my food, I'm not tipping. That's what he said. He said, if I'm sitting down, I'll tip. But if I'm standing up, I'm not going to tip. Well, we were standing up. It was all takeout. And she handed me the bag, asked me if I wanted to tip and all that. But then we looked at the receipt, and there was a fee on there. I forgot what the letters were of the fee. But we questioned it and said, what is this? What is this fee? This is not taxes. This is not a tip. What is this? And they said, this is the employment benefit fee. And I was like, what is an employment benefit fee? I'm not from California. What does this mean? And they went into telling me while I'm standing in line there, me and Sandy, that this helped them pay the salary of their employees. And I was like, isn't that what the price of the food is supposed to be? But I found out later that they added that because fast food restaurants in California have to make a minimum of $20 an hour. And this fee was added to help the company not go out of business. I'm like, okay, I get that, but why not just put it in the price of the burrito? So that I just think burrito prices are astronomical, but I'm in an airport, I got to need a burrito, so I just pay it. But no, you can't do that. You put it in an extra fee. I couldn't believe it. And then I see this. I found this today. This is in Colorado, in Denver. And why is my mouse not working? There we go. Come on. Colorado businesses. And if you live in Colorado, I want you to comment and let me know if you're experiencing this and let me know how this happened. This is not in Alabama yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Colorado businesses are quietly making customers pay, quote, public improvement fees, which is a fancy name for another sales tax. Businesses and supermarkets throughout Colorado have been subtly forcing consumers to pay another small tax called a PIF fee, public improvement fees. While it is not technically a tax, it's a way for the store to squeeze extra cents out of a customer's wallet. What in the world? Over a year ago. This has been going on for over a year? Colorado, what's up? Over a year ago, Holly Teska went viral on TikTok for exposing this new business practice and asked viewers to explain what this was about. Let's look at her TikTok.
You guys, things are getting out of control right now. I just left Target and I had to share my experience because I don't know if it's like just me or it's a new Target thing or it was the area I was in. Anyway, I had to share it. So like I was purchasing my items, checking out in the self-checkout, and I noticed that there was a new public improvement fee, which was 2.5% per item. So like $20 at 50 cents. Every item. And I took a picture of it because I was like, what is this? So anyway, like, seriously, look at this. I don't know if I can show you guys, but like, yeah, it was the public improvement fee. And I'm just wondering, like, public improvement, isn't that what sales tax is?
Okay. So then this led this reporter to do his own investigation. This is where it gets interesting because some people were saying that it was Target that was the only one doing it.
For the first time in Steve on Your Side history, we went undercover, all over town to buy Coke.
$2.45 for a Coke?
The drink, you narc.
Public improved fee, 6 cents.
We came here to Target at Belmar.
I just left Target and I had to share my experience
to test something we saw on TikTok.
And I noticed that there was a new public improvement fee, which was 2.5%.
Okay, Colorado people, help me. I'm going to finish playing a little bit more of this, but I want to know how it was sold to you. If you live in Colorado, I want to know how this was sold to the public and why it is called a public improvement fee. Y'all, this just seems like something straight out of Davos.
Percent per item.
To date,
public improvement, isn't that what sales tax is?
That reaction to her shopping trip at the Belmar Target remains the most popular TikTok Holly Teska has ever posted.
Normally, I'm a flight attendant, so most of my content is centered around travel.
But this one took off for no apparent reason.
Of course, yeah, the one I made in my car, in my sweatpants.
She had no clue what a public improvement fee was back then.
What does that go to? What does it mean? Really, what kind of information I could get? No one in the store could really answer my questions.
She knows all about the PIF now.
Now that I live in this area of Belmar, I've noticed that they do add it to almost all the businesses.
And it isn't just Belmar where the PIF added 6 cents to our Coke. We did Coke deals across town and found PIFs all over the place. In Sheridan, a 1% PIF at River Point added 2 cents.
This was a deal.
Back in Lake,
it's not even the same at every Target. It's a different fee at different Targets.
We tried to find Coke at this Whole Foods at Denver West, but it's Whole Foods. So
this San Pellegrino, $2.29, with a 1.4% PIF, it added 3 cents to the purchase. We're in Denver West right now. If we go right across the street, we're at Colorado Mills now. Let's go try the Coke test here. Public improvement fee, 3 cents.
So what the heck is a PIF?
Public improvement fee is just like a tax, but it's not a tax. It's a privately imposed fee, which is imposed through this covenant.
MSU Assistant Professor Jeff Pesciut is a real estate lawyer.
The goal is to help finance improvements on the property. It's another financing vehicle for the developer.
In some cases,
I'm sorry. Y'all, when you built the Target in your business model, you were supposed to find a way to generate income from sales, not from just arbitrarily just saying, I'm just going to get a little bit more money out of them. And you know what? There's nothing they can do about it. I'm going to call it a PIF, and then I'm just going to added on top of everything we sell. The government don't get any of it. It's not taxes. It's just to help us mop the floors, change the windows out, fix the roof. Wouldn't it be nice? Let me ask you a question, big picture. Wouldn't it be nice that you had the ability to just charge the government when you needed to make improvements on your house? What if you had the ability to just force people in your neighborhood to, if they drove by your house on the way to their house on the same road, that you put out a speed bump out there that charged them to get to their house because they had to use the road that went in front of your house. And when questioned about it, you would just say, hey, I've got a leaky roof, and I need you to help me pay for my leaky roof. That's ridiculous. But y'all, this is the world that we live in, and this is the programming. This video was over a year ago. Have you heard, if you live outside of Colorado, have you heard anything on the news about this before today? And by the way, in Colorado, where is the uprising? Why have you not voted these people out? Why have you not made this illegal? I don't get it. I don't get how we just are supposed to accept this. An employee benefit fee in California. The government votes to give you $20 an hour to work at fast food restaurants. But guess what? The companies are going to go out of business. So instead of making the hamburger $5.50, $6.50, instead of $6, you're going to make the hamburger $6 and then charge me 20 cents above the taxes and above the $6 to eat the hamburger so that you can pay your employees. And we just supposed to accept it. They're supposed to accept it. Well, I don't accept it. Although I guess I did because I paid for the burrito. I guess they know if you're hungry enough, you pay whatever you can. You'll own nothing and be happy about it. Now watch this. I want to show you something. See this right here? Y'all see this? This is called an Apple mouse. This is a mouse. Everybody that uses a computer knows what a mouse is. Well, when your mouse goes bad, this is just a microcosm. What I'm about to show you is going to seem a little silly. What I'm about to show you is a microcosm of what is coming. I want you to remember me telling you this. One day, when we're full-fledged in the world that's coming, you will remember when that crazy Southern drawl preacher from Alabama told you this was coming. Now, once again, this is a mouse. All of us know what a mouse is, whether it's wireless or the old corded kind. We know that we move it around and it moves the little pointer, the cursor, and we navigate the computer. Well, these don't last forever, right? Some of them stop working. When they stop working, what do? Altogether, we buy another mouse. And when I buy the mouse, I own the mouse, right? I own this mouse. You see this mouse? I own it. This is Larry Ragland's mouse. But let me show you a microcosm of the dream of Davos and how it is slowly being implemented. Logitech, one of the largest manufacturers of mice, computer mice, new CEO says, quote, "You're going to really love not owning a computer mouse and paying for a subscription to use it." I want you to let that headline sink in. The CEO of Logitech that makes makes keyboards, mice, computer peripherals, says you're going to really love not owning a computer mouse And you're going to love paying a subscription to use it. This is her, Logitech CEO Henrik Faber. She discussed how, like so many companies since the initial wave of record profits and production caused by the lockdowns, Logitech sales have understandably tapered. After the previous CEO decided to step down last year, Faber emphasized the need to stay on course by hitting emissions reduction targets, climate change, by 50%. Quote, I'm a big believer that you have to make a few changes if you want to get, in our case, even better results. A little faster growth with the same margins and not unimportantly reduce that carbon footprint by 50%. The Logitech CEO later revealed the company is working on this so-called forever mouse that is much better built and lasts longer, but customers would pay for a subscription to use it rather than just buy it and own it outright. Yeah. I'm not going to bore you with all this interview back and forth, but here's the summary when it gets down to the nitty-gritty. The statement is, I'm going to ask this very directly, the interviewer says. Can you envision a subscription mouse? The CEO of Logitech says possibly. And that would be a forever mouse? Yeah. So you pay a subscription for software updates to your mouse. The CEO. Yeah. And you never have to worry about it again, which is not unlike our video conferencing services today. Interviewer. But it's a mouse. CEO, Faber. But it's a mouse, yeah. Interviewer, Patel. I think consumers might perceive those to be very different. This is almost laughable. Talking to a multi-millionaire CEO of a billion dollar company, multi-billion dollar company. I think the consumers are going to think that video conferencing like Zoom, that you pay for the service, is probably a little different than a mouse. Faber, CEO, laughs. Yes, but it's gorgeous. Think about it like a diamond-encrusted mouse. This almost sounds like satire, but it's not. I've watched the interview. You mentioned AI earlier. You've rolled out some of the AI features in the new versions of Options Plus. There's a mouse with an AI button. Yeah. So I'm not going to let you see this here, but play it, but it's a little boring. But if you see the picture of the mouse, you see the little button there. It's a dedicated button to open up an AI assistant. But the funny thing that is going on here is that you have a millionaire CEO of a multi-billion dollar company, Logitech, laughing. No, it's like, let them eat cake. The peasants shall be okay. They do not need to own a mouse anymore. They do not want a mouse. They do not want to own a mouse. They just do not know it yet. They just need to be shown how amazing it will be to pay a service like Netflix, like you pay for Netflix, like you pay for regular TV, like you pay for your internet bill. You already pay all of these. Why not pay a subscription base for your mouse? They shall love it. Guess what that makes your mouse? Connected to the internet. If it can download subscription-based software and update itself, then like everything else, it's programmable. And it can be turned off. Can you imagine? I get on the big picture and I start talking about the World Economic Forum and I talk about Klaus Schwab and making me try to eat the bugs, and I really say some things, and I'm doing my show here and I'm talking about the World Economic Forum, and I'm using my subscription-based monthly service fee mouse, and the NSA, which I know is listening to me right now, sends a message to Logitech. Larry Ragland from the big picture. He's coming against our agenda. He's revealing things about the World Economic Forum that we want to keep secret. Well, what do you want me to do about it, NSA? He's using one of our subscription-based magic super mouses. Ah, got it. We'll take care of it. And I'm just talking away, and all of a sudden I go, my mouse won't work anymore. I know it seems silly, but that is the world. That is the world that we are headed towards. But that pales in comparison to what's really coming. Uncle Jimmy! Uncle Jimmy! The Supernatural AI update. Oh, sorry. Oh, that makes me cry because my baby's not here beside me. But this will make me happy.
Are you ready for this? Uncle Jimmy!
Oh, yeah. That's my bunny rabbit. So she's watching. I love that girl. Two beautiful grandbabies. All right, so let's see here. Let's get into the Supernatural AI update tonight. This is going to make you very excited tonight. This is going to make you happy. The United States is introducing AI speed cameras that can spy inside your car. You will get a ticket or potential arrest for an offense by simply snapping images. This sounds like a nightmare at best, but this is happening. Technology is great, right? Except when it's used to control and monitor everything we do. And now new artificial intelligence speed cameras are being installed on roads that will be able to spy inside your cars. These new AI cameras are set to be rolled out across the United States to catch motorists using mobile phones at the wheel or failing to wear seatbelts. The invasive technology is being rolled out in the UK first. What's up with the UK? UK, what in the world has happened to y'all? The UK first, and will undoubtedly make its way across to other countries not soon after. The new AI technology is enabling police to not only catch speeding drivers, but also clamp down on motorists distracted by either their phones, even if they have them on their lap while at the wheel. Even if they have them on their lap. So that means it's not going to just be surface level, eye level, dash level. They're going to be placed in a way where they can see in below the level of the dash and below the level of the window and the door. So what in the world? Do you know where? One more time. Could they work hand in hand with the screens that are in these new cars? That could potentially have cameras already looking at you and you didn't know. Wow. One more time. Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Well, my favorite AI Instagram site that I use every week here on the show, it's freaking me out more and more every week. So understand that I'd just like to show you what AI can do now. Everything you're seeing in this video is 100% AI. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. I don't know if I can or not. So you can see it. Okay, there we go. So the key is Runway is another one of the companies, and this is their Generation 3 AI video model. Now this is so clear, but what's so crazy is you don't see the big thing about it yet, is that these are not just rolling videos that somebody put in a prompt, make me a futuristic video of a dark-haired girl playing a video game. No. This is how crazy it is getting. They created the first image of this girl, and then Runway's technology just simply gives you the ability to type in emotions. AI has not been able to show emotions. Watch this. So now you see the prompt of the emotion. Watch how quickly she changes. This is not a real person. They're saying, now make her angry and shouting. Now make her startled and shocked. Now make her happy and talking. This is crazy. Now make her sad. What? Now she's listening intently to you, what you're saying. Wow. Shy. Yo, what is going to happen to our world? Could you tell this immediately? I mean, I really want to know. If you did not know this was from this site, and you did not know there was no text on here, and I just showed you a video of this girl, and it was just like that scene right there, and it wasn't the rapid change from the different scene, and she's just looking at you, or she says something, and it's all, would you know that was not, that everything on that was digital? Would you know that nothing you're looking at is real? Nothing. Except me. I'm real. I promise you. I'm not AI. That's crazy. See, that's been one of the problems. The two problems that AI has run into that they've been fine-tuning, and this is the big one. And this is going to sound crazy, but this is the big one. But first, let me tell you, the first one was emotions. Being able to actively show real, genuine emotions that were believable. Well, now we've surpassed that. Probably already surpassed it a long time. We're just now seeing that we surpassed it. But the other big thing that for whatever reason, and I wished I knew the reason, that AI has a problem with this, it's hands. It's hands. And even feet. They have a hard time with hands. When AI gets to the point where you cannot, when there's hand movement, shaking of hands, picking up things, putting their arm around somebody, things like that, high-fiving, doing little things with the hands and all that. When all of that is undetectable and you can't tell, because a lot of times they'll turn into 6 fingers on one hand or they'll merge into one hand or something like that. When that is done, it's over. There is no way that you'll be able to not tell what is real and what is fake. Now, of course, it's very difficult for us to have an AI update usually where we don't talk about our good friend, Elon Musk. Look what Elon Musk said this week. Unless we upgrade ourselves with Neuralink, his brain implant technology that he's invented in his company, AI will think so much faster compared to us, it will get bored communicating with us. So he's gone from introducing this technology, saying that it's going to help the paraplegics, it's going to help the blind, it's going to help all these, and now he's just rapidly moved into fear that if we don't all get it, we're all doomed. And I honestly get what he's saying. And I honestly believe he's telling the truth. Unless we upgrade ourselves with Neuralink, meaning put a chip in our brain, AI will think so much faster compared to us, it will get bored. Well, I know what he's saying, but I can tell you right now, he ain't going to do it. Let's watch him talk about it. Let's see if I can get this. I got to find the volume. Where's the volume? Hang on. Zoom it back out. I want you to hear this.
Aspiration of Neuralink is to improve the AI.
I guess you can't do it big like that. You got to do it like this.
The long-term aspiration of Neuralink is to improve the AI human symbiosis by increasing the bandwidth of the communication. Because if in the most benign scenario of AI, you have to consider that the AI is simply going to get bored waiting for you to spit out a few words. I mean, if the AI can communicate at terabits per second and you're communicating at, bits per second, it's like talking to a tree. The long-term aspiration of Neuralink is to improve the...
So he basically says it's communicating at terabit speeds, and you're communicating at byte speeds. It's going to get bored with you and not think that you have any value. Have we seen this movie? Haven't we seen this movie? Where AI just says, you know what, they're no use to us anymore. Why are we keeping them around? Haven't we seen this movie? I think we've seen this movie. Now, I have one more thing to show you. And you know what I always do. I always tell you that I save the best for last. And if there was ever a predictive programming movie that came into play, that is happening right before our very eyes and is real, not in test mode, but is actually happening in companies, it is this next thing. And I'm going to show it to you in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. We ain't woke, but we're certainly awake. Now, I want to show you the movie that I'm talking about. Let's see. So what I did is I couldn't remember the name of it, and I was shocked that I was able to do it during that commercial. But I just searched movie AI friend, and it came up with this movie. And then I remembered this was it. Her. It's called Her. And I really never saw the movie. I only saw clips of the movie. I never saw the movie. Maybe I need to go back and watch it because I know the premise of the movie. And this is it right here. This right here, this is the movie, Her. And the premise of this movie was this man in the future wanted a friend and wanted actually a girlfriend, I think is what it was. And there was an AI that was created that he may have created, I can't remember, where he basically fell in love with this technology. Well, y'all, here is the fulfillment, the beginning of this movie, Her. This is called Friend. Friend is this necklace. When I first saw this, I thought it was the new AI version of I've fallen and I can't get up. And I thought that's what it was, but that's not what it is. Friend is a new AI necklace priced at only $99, designed to combat loneliness. So here's the promo video.
Gosh, I'm out of breath. We made it. Woo!
She's talking to the necklace.
I don't know how to woo very good.
Now you can't see this, but it says something like,
That's fair.
you did a great job.
All right, let's go.
Let me show you how to game, bro, okay? Oh, come on, come on. Oh, let's go!
Are you serious? Come on, man. I hate this game.
Take notes, baby.
I wish I could play this bigger with the sound. I don't know why it won't let me. But I'm just going to let it play for just a minute while I'm
Gosh,
talking.
I'm out of breath.
So basically, this
We made it.
video, I'm going to put the sound down while I can talk about what was moving up. And then like I said, I can't make it any bigger for you.
I don't know how to woo very good.
It eventually gets to the place where you really start seeing the
That's fair.
craziness of it. And I'm going to pull the audio back up because
right,
you've got to see this last part. And I messed it up because I tried
Let me
to
show you how to game,
I'm
bro,
gonna play
okay?
so you
Oh,
can
come
hear the
on,
sound.
come
So
on.
this guy, he's playing video games.
Serious?
He's getting
Come
beat.
on, man.
And while he's
I
getting
hate
beat,
this game.
this is in his pocket. His phone's in his
Take
pocket.
notes, baby.
And
Oh, man, you guys suck.
his phone
Let's go, let's go.
says,
Dude, what?
"You're getting creamed, man. They're destroying it." And he just laughs about it. Okay. So this one says,
I know the effects are crazy.
yeah.
It's dank. I could
how's
eat one
that
of these
food?
every day.
It says, how's that food? And then, I don't know why it just
Gosh, I'm out of breath.
So,
made it.
so when,
Woo!
hang on. Yeah, okay, this is why. Because this right here.
Sorry, I got you messy.
It's
Says
really
John.
nice up here. How'd you find this place?
Look at this.
I don't know. I just kind of like to come up here to be by myself. I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
Besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so. We'll see.
I guess you bring everybody up here. No, just her. Oh, well, I guess I must be doing something right then if I've got her approval to come up here. And she says, we'll see. This is what we've been programmed to become. This is why God told me, I really believe God told me, start a YouTube channel and call it The Big Picture, because there's a world that's out there and there's a plan and an agenda that nobody's telling you. And that's why we do that. So if you can be a partner with us, we'd appreciate it. And many of you have been partners. We thank you for everybody that's sent a super chat and a super thanks during this live and afterwards. You don't know what it means to us. And if you came in late, I see many of y'all saying you miss Sandy. I appreciate that. I know it's not the same without her. I did the best I could tonight. I miss her, I promise you, more than y'all do. She's with her dad, and her dad is having probably an overnight stay in the hospital, and she's taking care of her dad because that's what you do. You take care of your family before anything else. And, of course, I would have been there if I needed to be there. She said, yes, you need to do the show, not be here, because that's our family too. She knows that if something was needed, I would be there. But I'm about to call her and check on her. She was in the live chat for a little bit. Her phone probably died. So y'all just keep her in prayer, keep her dad in prayer, and make sure you go to our Telegram. Make sure you go to our Telegram. Let me throw that up one more time. Oh, and then one more thing I want to tell you. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. This is very, very important. First of all, go to the Telegram. It's in the description. It's very, very easy. Go there now, tonight. I always, before I go to bed, after a show like this, I always go in the Telegram and do a special video inside the Telegram. Don't do anywhere else. So go there. And then the other thing I want to tell you is that we hadn't talked about this in a while, but we are still on Faith TV. We are on there every Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 Eastern. If you have DirecTV, or you can get the Faith Now app. We are coming to the end of season 1. We are getting ready to tape season 2. Many of you have given towards that. It costs a considerable amount of money for airtime that we pay monthly. Our partners pay for that. We are reaching thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. We're all over Europe. If you're watching us in Europe, look for Faith UK. Faith UK is a channel. It's a Christian channel that covers all of Europe. We're on Faith UK, and we're on Faith United States, Faith TV, and by the end of this year, we will be on Faith Africa, and we'll be covering all of Africa with our television show, which is totally different than this show. And all of our monthly partners on YouTube by clicking that join button down below, and then most importantly, because these are significant givers above, I'm not devaluing the YouTube givers. Please understand, I'm not. I appreciate our YouTube partners more than I could say. But our website gives you the ability to give a little bit more if you'd like, and that's LarryRagland.com. And when you go there, you just click on Partner with Us. And when you click on Partner with Us, you can mail it. There's our mailing address. And then, of course, you can become, there's 4 levels of partners that you can become too. And several of you have done that. Well, this helps us on our television ministry more than we could ever say. Had a great crowd on here tonight. Thank you for everybody that joined us. And make sure you send this to somebody and go to Telegram. I'll see you tonight. God bless you. We ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. Love you, Sandy. I know you're watching. And I love you, Big Picture family. See you next time. God bless y'all.